Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai 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 Ram. We are chanting the name of Ram, who is within me, who is making me to chant, who is trying to make me aware of His grace. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 You are making me to chant, to develop surrender to you. You are making me to chant Ram Nam, to develop surrender towards you. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 You are making me to chant this holy and all-powerful Ram Nam for transforming faith into trust in you. You gave me first the faith in you, but you are yet to give me to convert it into a trust in you. So you are now making me to repeat the name. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 You are making me to chant your name for feeling protection in times of fear and anxiety. You are making me to chant your name for feeling protection in times of fear or anxiety. You are making me to chant your name for seeking your intervention in times of crisis. Whenever I forget you, you are making me to chant your name for seeking your intervention in times of crisis. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram, Jai 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 Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Yesterday, when we were talking about prayer, surrender, now we were talking about surrender. Everything is done by Him. So Papa here talks about surrender. The seriousness of it we should know. Even with so much care, Ramdas found that he was not able to completely master his mind by sadhana alone. When he realized that he could not do anything more by himself to control his mind, he surrendered himself at the Lord's feet and left everything to His will. Then the Lord did the rest for Ramdas. So the secret of success lies in surrender. We go on churning and churning the curd, and at last we have to stop the churning for some time before the butter is formed. Then alone we can collect the butter. Churning is quite necessary, but it must be stopped in the final stage. So also sadhana is quite necessary, but it must be followed by surrender to Lord. By our personal effort alone, we cannot attain. Even after hard penance, we find we have failed miserably to get rid of all our impurities, all the desires and vasanas from the mind. Even after hard penance, we find we have failed miserably to get rid of all our impurities, all the desires and vasanas from the mind. We see that by our effort alone, we cannot attain perfect purity and peace. Then at last, realizing our utter helplessness, we cry out to God to come to our rescue, and we throw ourselves at His feet. We approach Him in all humility, and in a state of absolute surrender, we open our heart to Him. Then, by His grace, the thing is done. But this surrender does not come at first. The mind will not permit us in the early stages to surrender to the Lord. We feel we can do everything by ourselves, without anybody's help. It is only after doing hard sadhana for some time that we realize our personal limitations and discover that our efforts are nothing by themselves and that by God's grace alone it can save us. The mind has a tendency to persist in the very direction from which we have held it back. It likes to think only of those objects that are banned. That is the nature of the mind. To bring it under control, keeping it pure and one-pointed, is most difficult. The best way to keep the mind free from its evil tendencies is to repeat Ram Nam. Ram Nam destroys the evil vasanas, makes the mind pure. Moving in the world amidst tempting circumstances, it requires extraordinary strength to keep the mind pure. Such strength can be developed by the repetition of Ram Nam. Side by side with the chanting of the divine name, the practice of controlling the mind must also go on. That is why we are repeating and again repeating the theme by which we can control the mind, and again we are repeating the name. Both should go hand in hand. Papa here says, side by side with the chanting of divine name, the practice of controlling the mind must also go on. If the mind prompts you to do something evil, you must sternly refuse to obey it. The strength to disobey the evil prompting is derived from Ram Nam. That is why, we say, what is that? We are chanting the name for overcoming the down-pulling tendencies. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. So you are making me to chant your name to overcome the down-pulling tendencies. No? These are all the ways by which we try to control the mind. So Papa here clearly says this, how Ram Nam helps. Such strength can be developed by the repetition of Ram Nam side by side with the chanting of divine name. The practice of controlling the mind must also go on. This aspect so far he did not make us to realize, We were chanting Ram Nam. An overall idea is there, that's all. Not specific, not deep. Side by side with the chanting of the divine name, practice of controlling the mind must also go on. If the mind prompts you to do something evil, you must sternly refuse to obey it. The strength to obey the evil prompting of the mind is derived from Ram Nam. Through the aid of Ram Nam, you can get mastery over the mind. Be a slave of Ram, then you will not be the slave of your mind. Don't do that your mind prompts you to do. That is the advice given by some saints. Yesterday we were talking about prayer in originality. These prayers were composed by Pujya Swami Sachidanand. We will read out. The idea, why we are reading out, we are trying, everyone should try to bring it out in their own way. Need not necessarily be in any traditional way. You can find that in Swamiji, that the guidance Swamiji gives us is, you bring it out in your own way. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. I touch with deep love and devotion the holy feet of beloved Papa and beloved Mataji Krishnabai, who awakened me, guided me, chided me, brought me to this shape. I owe my everything to them, who have been in full control of me even before I met their physical forms. Saguna and Nirguna. There is a combination of Saguna and Nirguna here. Even before I met their physical forms. O Lord, you are my father, mother, everything to me. You are infinite and eternal. You are pure consciousness without name and form. All the names and forms in the universe are mere appearances. All the names and forms in the universe appear to exist. In your eternal and infinite being, by your power alone, each form is activated. By your power alone, mind, intellect and senses of each form function. By your will alone, each form feels the sense of individuality. O Lord, as Virata Purusha, you are holding within you all the 14 worlds and all the creations in them. O Lord, as everything is contained in you, this body also must be in you. You are everything, you are everything, everything is in you. You are beyond everything, there is nothing but you. O Lord, how mysterious is your form, how bewitching is your Maya. Sitting within you, we are. Sitting within you, we are. Trying to find out your real form. Is it possible? Trying to find out your real form, sitting within you. Sitting within this room, how are we able to see the whole rooms, You are infinite. There is nothing outside you. How can we stand apart from you? How can we stand apart from you? You are infinite. There is nothing outside you. Yet, where are you? Your forms are so bewitching. We fail to see you in them. May they not obstruct our vision. To myself, God is everywhere. He is all pervading. When we are walking, we are wading through Him. Where are we? We are in the universe. What is the universe? It is the manifestation or projection of God. The universe appears to exist in God. What is God? Pure consciousness. So where are we? We are in God, in pure consciousness. Are we only living in God? We are also breathing God. The whole universe is God. We are in the universe. We are God. See, what is that coming? That is God in the form of a cow. That form, every atom of it, is filled with God. Every atom of it is God. Where is that sound coming from? It is coming from God. It is God. Who is that coming? It is God in human form. See the language, What name He has assumed for that form? You have to ask that form. What name have you assumed for this form? What are you eating? God in the form of rice and curry. What are you drinking? God in the form of water and drink, milk. What is this I you are talking about? There is no I. Everything is you, God. Then why do you say I? Old habits. No, there is no place for I. The body is God. The power that drives the body is God. See the dialogue, the beauty of the dialogue. What is this I you are talking about? There is no I. Everything is you, God. Then why do you say I? Old habits. Now there is no place for I. The body is God. The power that drives the body is God. What is more important? The force that drives the body or the body itself? Surely the force or power. Why? Because the body is perishable. The power is imperishable, eternal. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Another prayer. This normally you have heard. O Rama, 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 my Rama. By thy unbounded grace and with intense aspiration to seek thee, I wandered hither and there. Tiring in thy quest, O Lord, mercifully thou manifested in the form of my Gurudev. This brought about a great change, peace in my life, guided by my intellect and with Guru's grace, Gurudev's grace, trying to understand your form little by little, aspiring to merge in thyself, chanting ceaselessly the Guru Mantra, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, I meditate blissfully. Manifest as innumerable universe, and being their substratum, thou art the transcendent truth, O my Lord, thou art the transcendent truth. Thou art without attributes, thou art without attributes, thou art without form, thou art without form. With intense love and devotion, remembering and meditating on thy form as Vishnu, my mind craving for thee alone, struggling to merge in thy eternal being, I beg of thee. That is why in this room you can find the Normally we don't have any photo of Ishtadevata. But to Swamiji, Lord Vishnu was also his Ishtadevata. But at the same time, he was able to see the nameless, formless aspect has inspired him through that form. With intense love and devotion, remembering and meditating on thy form, as Vishnu, my mind craving for thee alone, struggling to merge in thy eternal being, I beg of thee. Meditating on thy charming and entrancing form, my eyes fall on the beautiful blossoming red lotus blessed with thy holy rosy feet, the divinity bhaktas adore and meditate upon. The majestic form, blue as the sky and clad in yellow silk, blue scarf wrapped around thy waist, may this thine adorable form, standing on red lotus, ever shine in our heart, in all our hearts. Fragrant Vaijayantimala, attracting beetles and bees, adoring thy holy neck, and radiant Kaustuba thy chest, may this thine adorable form, standing on red lotus, ever shine in our heart, in all our hearts. The four arms, holding conch, discus, maize, lotus, and thy ever-smiling face, and thy ever-shining, enticing cheeks, may this thine adorable form, standing on red lotus, ever shine in our heart, in all the hearts. The lotus-like eyes, showering grace on all, thy ears adorned with Magaragundala, thy broad forehead bearing, diamond-studded gold crown on top, may this thine most worshipful form, standing on lotus feet, red lotus, ever shine in our heart, in all hearts. Standing on lotus, showering grace on all, thy bewitching form may ever shine, not merely in our hearts, in all our hearts, in all hearts. Mysteriously art thou, bewildering too, charming and bewitching is thy form, sweet and intoxicating is thy form, bestower of bhakti and mukti is thy kripa. May all bhaktas be blessed with thy kripa. May all sing thy sweet intoxicating name. May all be blessed with thy vision, O of charming and bewitching form. May all realize thy supreme Godhead, unraveling the mystery, and know there is only one, and thou art. Whatever is perceived is thy form. However charming, being transient, attachment to it brings only grief. Thy real being, thy true being is eternal, imperishable. Saguna and Nirguna, no? Both. Supreme love for it will result in eternal happiness, eternal happiness. Thy Shashvata Swarupa is Anand, Shanti and Adbhut. Meditating on thy Shashvata Swarup, enjoying peace and bliss eternal, serving thee with supreme devotion, finally merging in thee the eternal. Yet I remain thy child, thou art my mother divine. I am thy slave, thou art my master divine. Maintaining this sweet relationship should flow my life divine. Swimming in the ocean of peace and divine, swimming in the ocean of bliss divine, may we be ever with thee, fulfilling our wish for life divine, fulfilling our life's entire mission, standing on the brink of this ocean of bliss, be ready to jump and be one with the waves to finally dive deep within down, where no waves, no turbulence, perfect stillness, silence, eternal silence, eternal silence. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Standing on the brink of the ocean of bliss, be ready to jump and be one with the waves to finally dive deep down, where no waves, no turbulence, perfect stillness, silence, eternal silence, eternal silence. Om Shanti, Om Shanti Shanti. See, so we read it. He is guiding us, You bring it out. The flowering, how do we know? We hold on to the holy and all-powerful Ramnam. We try to understand the purpose for which we are chanting the Ramnam. Ultimately to control the mind and to go beyond the mind. And to feel the presence of Him, which is now blocked by my mind. And when I come out, I again pray to Him, in my own language. So this is the third point, this in-depth study of in quest of God reveals to us. Preparatory measures, pondering simultaneously on various subjects, then sadhana, then daily practice, holding on to Ramnam for succeeding in all these, for remembering all these, for maintaining all these in our mind, and then praying to them, praying to Him. We have identified the blockades now. The Gurudev has cleared about the goal to be scaled. He is slowly enabling us to bring out the methodology of our own. And so one is our own methodology, second is our own prayer. And we try to identify our blockades, not somebody naming our blockades, no. We try to understand our own blockades. And we have been assured that Ramnam will definitely enable us to identify, enable us to overcome. Previously, we were not giving much importance for that. Now we know the Nama is not only to identify the blockades, but also enable us to overcome it. And then, now Swamiji is, we are sitting on the banks of the ocean of bliss, Anandashram. But still, we have not transformed the faith into trust. That is why we are unable to take a leap into it, jump into it. Hari Om. Hari Om. So this is the blocking. We cannot do it by ourselves. Still something is needed for us to take a plunge. That is why we are praying, please transform the faith in you to the trust in you. Only when the faith transforms itself into the trust, we feel we are secure. Now each and every word we are made to repeat, Papa is clarifying it, God is clarifying it. Not simply reading. So give thrust to originality in prayer. That's what we touched upon. Yesterday, did we share about the Nimishagavi? No. Yes. We shared here in Malayalam?
No, that is Achyuta Prasharidi.
No.
Nimishagavi you didn't.
We are not shared. Okay. Yesterday or day for yesterday, there was a telephone call. He was telling what he has heard 50 years ago, 40 years ago. We were bringing out one prayer. That prayer was told to us by Father. And if you may remember rightly, one day Father said, when we were children, he went to the temple. There was a Devi there, Ishtadevata. Suddenly words started coming out, the originality in prayer, no? We must have shared it with him 42 years ago. He telephones to us yesterday, that is still ringing in my mind, please repeat. But we are not very clear about the complete verses. In Malayalam. And it's difficult for us even to translate. When he stood before the Devi, he prayed that this is the house you have built for me to realize you. How long am I to stay here? ചർമ്മത്താൽ ചുമരിട്ടു മജ്ജയതിനാൽ കുമ്മായവും തേച്ചു മുൻജന്മത്താൽ കയറിട്ടു കാലടികളാൽ തൂണിട്ടു മാംസപിണ്ഡത്തിനാൽ ധർമ്മത്തിൻ പഴുതിട്ടടച്ചു തലയാം താഴിക്കുടം വെച്ചു നീ നിർമ്മിച്ചുള്ള ഗൃഹത്തിൽ എത്ര ദിവസം തായേ വസിക്കേണ്ടു ഞാൻ. We are not very clear. We are trying to remember what we have heard 40, 50, 60 years back. But now we remember, it was a spontaneous...
What is the quintessence of it?
That's what this body, this body is...
Yeah.
It has got a wall, it has got a pillar, it has got it has been plastered,
Yes.
and it has got a roof. All these things are brought out. Tarikudam means the top. Okay. Charmatal, Chumarittu, Majjayadinal, Kummayavum, Techu. Because of my previous birth, I got this body. You gave me this body. Munjanmattal, Kairittu, Kaladigalal, Tunittu. The next one I am not still clear. മാംസപിണ്ഡത്തിനാൽ ധർമ്മത്തിൻ പഴുതിട്ടടച്ചു തലയാം താഴിക്കുടം വെച്ചു നീ നിർമ്മിച്ചുള്ള ഗൃഹത്തിൽ എത്ര ദിവസം തായേ വസിക്കേണ്ടു ഞാൻ. In a nutshell, the body is a residence given to me based upon my previous karma, and the foundation is there, basement is there, wall is there, roof is there, everything is there, and you have provided a wonderful residence for me to know you. Unfortunately, I forgot and I have been thinking about only this house, That is the implied meaning. How long should I wait? How long should I stay here? Without joining you. Nee nirmichulla grihathil, You have sent me, you have put up this abode. And how long should I keep on holding to how long should I? The more I think about it, what it means is, how long should I stay here? You gave me everything, agreed. But the purpose was to know that you have given me. The moment I become aware that you have given me, I want to become one with you. But how long? I forget about it and I keep on living here, holding on to the house, sense of individuality.
Yes.
Sense of individuality housed in our body. So why we remember, originality. Vivekananda sang, Yatranal ingene kathirikkunnu njan. Will such type of prayer. What we have been doing unknowingly is to hear somebody's prayer and then we repeat. After some time we get disconnected. A superficial appreciation will be there, that's all. We are blunt in saying, though this should not be told like this, in a forum like this, but this is the truth, including Papa's universal prayer.
Yes, Swami, yes.
Not to shake our faith in prayer. Prayer does help us. It helps us to move. But ultimately the prayer is trying to touch and kindle our original language. You talk to me in your original language, as it were, he is telling you. You talk to me in your original language, then I will hear. Just like when Papa went to one mother, you remember? She brought something. Then Papa said, I don't want this. I want something made out of, in your own hand.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes.
So here also, it looks like God is telling us, you have been mugging up, storing in your memories so many things uttered by so many. But I want your name. I want your original one. You try to bring it out in your own original way. Then I will hear. Then only it will have the deepest impact. Otherwise the impact will be there superficially. That's all. Or sentimental satisfaction. That's all. We used to wonder, prayers like Thy Glory, prayers like Adorable Presence, prayers like Universal Prayer, it should have taken us to the goal.
Yes, Swami.
So we are in depth of study of Inquest of God is revealing to us. Initially we can pray as brought out by Mahatmas. After some time, we will find that it is a mechanical exercise leaving no impact in our heart or mind. So we draft our prayer in our own words, which naturally come from the bottom of our heart. This will be surely effective. So the outer prayer or prayer from Mahatmas or from Shastras are to touch and kindle our own prayer to Him. When we say our own prayer, we are unable to distinguish who is giving us this prayer. Ultimately, it is Ram who is helping us to make the prayer. Ram, who has given us a sense of individuality, went back behind this, and he is there, but he has made us unaware of his presence. He is hiding, as it were. And he wants us to remove the curtain and see him. Everything is happening inside. But we are taking the aid from outside. Then it doesn't go there. So, he is indirectly empowering the sense of individuality, which is also his own produce, to bring it out in original form. God's own form. Though our outer prayers are also his forms, he has made all of us unique. Here lies the uniqueness. Though the composition of the body is same, the functioning of the organs are same for everybody, everything is common. Everything is common. except this uniqueness. So we try to find out the uniqueness and then try to become aware of the uniqueness by bringing out prayer in our own form, which is also motivated by him. But if he has to motivate us, we have to prepare our mind and go there and tell them and stand before. I don't know, some of you might have seen, there is a small video, Call on Me, O Lord.
Call on the Lord.
There was an article, based upon that, one devotee made a beautiful video. I think it is there in the YouTube. So we stand before the doorstep and through intense chanting of Ram Nam, in our own way, we should add this one more, with a prayer of our own, then only the door will open. So this is a very great revelation for all of us. This in-depth study, it's a very important point, very important point. Papa was a very often resorting to solitude and silence. And everywhere you find there is a dialogue with him. Dialogue is also a prayer. O Lord, save me. It's a prayer. O Lord, let me not slip into the temptations. And when we do that, whatever we see as prayer now by various Mahatmas, Shanti Mantras, there are so many shlokas. Papa used to recommend to everybody, sadhaka, that you should chant some slogas, It is an easy link apart from Nama. That is also equally to remember him. And that remembrance also comes through this Saguna Nirguna aspect. Starting from Nirguna and he ends with Saguna, or starting from Saguna ends with Nirguna. The next one is exclusiveness in the spiritual pursuit. Papa is prompting us to list all these in the category of sadhana. Exclusiveness in the spiritual pursuit. Very, very, very difficult for us. Though we are attached to the form of beloved Papa and have unshakable faith in him, Ananya Bhakti is perhaps yet to take deep root in us. Beloved Papa says, the young plant of Bhakti in Ram was thus nurtured in the electric atmosphere created by the influence of great men on the mind of humble Ramdas. It was at this time that it slowly dawned upon his mind that Ram was the only reality and all else was false. While desires for the enjoyment of worldly things were fast falling off, consideration of me and mine was also wearing out. The sense of possession and relationship was vanishing. All thought, all mind, all heart, all soul was concentrated on Ram covering up and absorbing everything. Some clues Papa is giving us what is Ananya Bhakti, what is exclusive devotion. It becomes amply clear that one will be able to scale the heights only when he or she withdraws from everything, including the sadhana, and try to dwell on Ram only, otherwise the final goal will still be distant. Yesterday we were searching for a particular quotation and hints to aspirant. You remember? It is right in front of us. We were holding this small book also. Because what is the net result of exclusive devotion? He says, for realizing the truth, no external paraphernalia is necessary. No garb, no sign, no cult, no creed can help you. Joining this mission, this project, that project. The day will come when you have to leave all these behind and go to meet the eternal in perfect nakedness of your spirit. Yes, capital. Shedding all make-believe forms, customs, traditions. Anything that binds us. Simplicity, spontaneity, humility become the guiding principles of your life. You move freely with all, you love all alike, you break all boundaries set by the calculating and selfish human mind. You soar like a free bird in the infinite expanse of the spiritual firmament. You look upon all beings and creatures as the embodiment of the one divine, all-pervading spirit. Temples, ashrams, mosques, churches, synagogues, viharas cannot imprison your soul. You find your soul's delight and joy at all places, in the best as well as the worst. So exclusiveness, will ultimately result in this. Because even the so-called labeled sadhana are also to be shed. But it is necessary. Just like just now Papa, churning is necessary. And after some time the churning should stop. Without churning, the butter will not be separated from the curd. Minus the butter, it becomes the buttermilk. It is called buttermilk, So similarly, sadhana is necessary and ultimately sadhana will reveal that stop. That is why he said, the day will come when you have to leave all these behind, go to meet the eternal in the perfect nakedness of your spirit, shedding all make-believe forms, customs and traditions. Simplicity, spontaneity and humility become the guiding principles of your life. You move freely with all, you love all alike, you break all boundaries set by the calculating and selfish human mind. You soar like a free bird in the infinite expanse of the spiritual firmament. You look upon all beings and creatures as the embodiment of the one divine, all-pervading spirit. Temples, ashrams, mosques, churches, synagogues, viharas cannot imprison your soul. You find your soul's delight and joy at all places, in the best as well as in the worst. Papa has mentioned about his deep commitment to the teachings of Swami Ramtirtha. Now we understand why. Because Ramtirtha's teaching says, be always free. Allow your windows of your mind open. Never close it. Because the moment you close it, you are within the conceptual prisons. So let any thought come from any, but you are firm. Yes, we remember today morning we shared. Many years ago, in early 90s or mid 90s, we were also going through there are, in books of God realization, there are 7 books of teachings of Swami Ramtirtha. Very inspiring. So we thought we should translate it into Malayalam. It will be impossible. Nobody will be able to translate it because it is very difficult. Unless we raise ourselves to a higher level, not from the intellectual level or the academic level, but to a different experiential level, we will not be able to put those words. So at least we thought, we will select a few and translate into Malayalam. Naturally, the normal convention demands that we should seek their permission. So we checked up their address. Somehow we got the address. It was in Lucknow. So we wrote a letter, simple letter. Requesting them to give their permission for translating. Lucknow it has gone. In 10 days the reply came. Very touching reply. Rama is yours. He is accessible to you as much as he is accessible to us. So you don't have to ask, do whatever you feel like. When we read these words, ashrams, mosques, churches, synagogues, viharas cannot imprison your soul. As soon as we got that letter, we were really touched. We rushed up with that letter to Puja Swamiji and said, should this not be the attitude of every spiritual organization? Why should we confine our Mahatmas to one? My Guru, my ashram. Mataji has made it clear. Omnipotent Papa's ashram is the whole universe. To know that he has set up this ashram. But still, heart of heart, we will say, Anandashram is our ashram. Then why are we putting this copyright? Then Papa said, Swamiji said, it was there, we can remove it. Anyway, nowadays, since then, there have been so many requests from foreign countries, whether they can translate. Even in Portugal language, Spanish, then even Russian language, different languages. So we tell them carry on. Then they ask about royalty. We said no, Papa is yours. When he says, when he has identified himself with the universal reality, how can we imprison him in all these so-called, conventional statutes? So this is the height we have to reach when we take to exclusive devotion. So that is how this particular category called sadhana ends. Daily practices, we will take it up later. We will have some more Ramnam. So this is the background. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. You are making me to chant the holy and all-powerful Ram Nam to ultimately free me from all bondages, which fact I was not knowing. You are making me to chant the holy and all-powerful Ram Nam to free me from all types of bondages, whether we name it as samsaric bondage or spiritual bondage, to make me totally free. Then only I become your child. Then only I become your slave. Then only I become you. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 You are making me to chant the holy and all-powerful Ram Nam for bestowing on me or making me aware of the peace within. The eternal peace, you are there in the form of eternal peace in my heart, about which I was not aware at all. Now you are making me to aware by making me to chant the holy and all-powerful Ram Nam. The eternal peace within me, the eternal contentment within me, the eternal fullness in me, the eternal everything. All fullness. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 You are making me to chant the holy and all-powerful Ram Nam to make me to accept everything is a test given by you. Instead of blaming my co-creations, because I have not identified your presence in me, because of that I feel separate from other creation, and so normally when anything happens, I try to find fault with others, but now you are trying to make me understand that it is a test meted out to me to know where I stand. So you are making me to chant the holy and all-powerful Ram Nam to make me aware that all trying situations are a test from you. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 You made me to read In Quest of God. Which chapter that you are in?
Raipur.
You made me to repeat. You made me to read. But we used to cover. But when that particular portion came, We will read again. He was in the railway station in Ajmer, while he was resting in the station, along with some other sadhus who had also arrived by the same train. The railway police objected and asked all of them to go out. He sought a place, Papa sought a place under a tree in front of the station, within the compound. But here again the policeman interfered and drove him away. Knocking about for some time, he saw at last a spot under another tree in a far-off corner of the railway compound. As he had nothing to spread on the floor, he lay himself down on the bare ground. When his nose came in close proximity with the ground, he felt the strong smell of urine. O Ram, how kind you are! You make your humble slave pass through every kind of experience, all for his good. This condition taught him further. Still, what a folly it was to make much of this perishable body. And it also tended greatly to make him find his true level, which is indeed very, very low. To afford him the benefit of this experience, O Ram, thou alone appeared as the policeman and brought about this circumstance. Here Ramdas, the child of Ram, slept soundly till morning in the loving embrace of that all-powerful being Ram. You made us to read. You made us to intellectually, get thrilled. But now we are chanting the holy and you are making us to chant the holy and all-powerful Ram Nam, to accept every such situation as a test by you, for my own good, for my own progress. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
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 By your infinite kindness, you made us to go through the last word of the 37th chapter, by which that in quest of God ends. Ramdas stays by Ram's command in a cave called Panchapandava cave on the Kadri hill and lives there a serene life, devoting his whole time in talking about, writing of, meditating on that all-loving and glorious Ram. So the serenity, by you are now, by making me to do Ram Nam, reminding me that the peace comes out in the form of serenity outside, untouched, unaffected by anything, like a waveless ocean. So now previously we were chanting Ram Nam, but you did not make us realize all these. Now you chose. The time has come for all of us to understand the real purpose of chanting Ram Nam, by which all these dimensions are touched, rekindled, so that ultimately one day the sense of individuality will cry out and say, I want to become one with you. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
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 Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, જય જય રામ. ઓમ શ્રી રામ. જય રામ. જય જય રામ.
હરિઓમ સ્વામી.
હરિઓમ હરિઓમ. હરિઓમ હરિઓમ. નમસ્કાર. એની સજેશન્સ